I'm Anika, and I'm a junior currently at the Texas Academy of Mathematics and Science at the University of North Texas. I think what really got me interested in STEM was science fairs. So I initially started participating in science fairs, honestly, only because my brother was participating in science fairs and I kind of wanted to do it with him. But I remember like the first time that I went to science fairs, I remember like lugging my poster board into the science fair hall and like viewing everyone's amazing projects. And these were like kids who are the same age as me. So I was walking around these halls and I saw like people who had worked on their projects for like over 2 years. And these projects were like completely innovative in like fields that I didn't even know existed. So I remember I like came out of the science fair hall that day and I was like, oh my goodness, like my own project feels like it has like a different weight now, and that's what kind of inspired me like get into research. And I always kind of had like a background in STEM because everyone in my family like pushed me towards STEM because they came from STEM backgrounds, and I'm honestly like really like privileged to say that. So but I think like science fairs and like viewing everyone else's amazing projects and getting inspired by that was really what kindled that like interest in STEM.
What do you think is the most exciting or interesting area of STEM research? And like, what do you really like about it? Tell us about it.
I think it's like the ability to constantly ask questions and actually go seeking answers for those questions. Because I mean, like usually, like without research, I mean, we'd just be asking questions, kind of like in this constant like bubble, in this like hole where we can kind of like keep like repeatedly going back and forth. But with research, you're actually able to take all these resources and like information from like past researchers, culminate all of that, accumulate it, and like move forward and answer like get answers to all of those questions that you're asking. And I think like the ability to like, kindle your curiosity with like research is what like the most amazing part of that is.
Yeah. So like, what's your favorite field of research to like study?
More recently, I've actually gotten interested in like biomedical engineering. So I'm interested in like the intersection of AI and then bench research. So I've kind of experimented with both of those separately recently, but I think it would be like a dream come true to kind of see both of those come to life, and intersect together in like the same research project.
Can you share a woman in history who's really inspired you and tell us a little bit about her?
For sure. I mean, you've probably heard this one already a lot, but definitely like Marie Curie. And I think like as I've gotten interested in like research, her story has definitely become more significant to me. Initially, I found out about Marie Curie through like a movie I watched and like a research project that I did in like fourth grade. And back then, it was just interesting to me and amazing to me how she like broke gender barriers as a woman in STEM. But now that I've kind of gotten interested in research and I've gotten more experience with that, I have realized like how much more difficult it is for her, especially because like her story involves her like toiling for years on a research project that's completely her idea and her having to give it away just because people aren't able to recognize that a woman was able to complete such an amazing project. And now that I realize like all the hard work and creativity and innovation and just like toiling that goes into like doing research, I can't imagine like having to like give someone else credit for my work just because like people aren't able to understand that I was the one who completed that project. But I mean, like she was able to break past all of that and still be able to like be recognized with two, not one, but like two Nobel prizes. So honestly, like amazing work, and I'm so inspired by her.
Yeah, I think it's just like scientific research is just so difficult and like breaking barriers that way while she was facing so many obstacles due to her gender is like her achievements are really inspirational.
I agree. It's honestly like insane. I can't imagine like having to go through all of that and still coming out successful.
So, how do you think the representation of women in STEM fields has changed over the past few decades, and what factors have contributed to those changes?
Over time, I think people have like come to recognize that not only like men, but women also have like a significant impact and they have equally like amazing minds, equally amazing contributions to fields in STEM. I think like being able to recognize that and being able to recognize things like women in history. And of
Mhm.
course, we're able to see like with more media representation, people really like being shed light on. Like especially women who have contributed to fields, especially like young individuals who are being inspired by all these role models, have really come forward um, and presented their work, which is honestly like amazing.
While great strides have been made in gender equity in STEM, discrimination has not yet completely vanished. Can you share a time in which you felt really impressed by an advancement in gender equity around you? This could be at any level, maybe a club in your school, or like a policy on a national level.
Personally, what it's impacted me personally was, like you said, like a club at my school. We have a club called SWE Next, which is like the society. It's like the sub chapter of the Society of Women Engineers.
Yeah,
And
yeah, we have that
yeah.
at my school
Oh, really?
too.
That's nice. One of the biggest things that I noticed about STEM was that girls felt like they didn't have enough inspiration going into STEM because I mean a lot of the role models that we see are men. So we don't really see a lot of women who have done like a lot of amazing things, even though there are women, but those women are not really like, there's not a lot of light shed on them. So women, like girls, especially like in my school, we're not able to see that. So one thing that we did with like SWE Next was we brought in like a panel of guest speakers who were able to speak about their experiences in STEM being a woman. And that kind of like, I felt like for me personally gave me like a lot of inspiration, even though I was one of the people who helped organize it. So, I mean, hearing their stories and being able to understand and like kind of relate to them even, and being able to see that they were able to break past those gender norms kind of inspired me to do the same.
What do you think that we can learn from the experiences of women in STEM throughout history, and how do you think we can apply those lessons to the work that we do today?
I think perseverance. I mean, just looking at like Marie Curie's story, seeing how she persevered in spite of her work being like, or other people taking credit for her work, she still persevered, continued her research, and despite of all those challenges. I think like that's very inspirational. So no matter the challenges you face, um, know that like just persevere and know that there's other people who are facing similar challenges. You're not the only one out there. So um, shed light on your story, like bring it to like make sure that you like persevere and you get past it because I mean there's a lot of people in the same situation as you and you are able to like come past it.
What advice would you give to other young women who might be interested in pursuing a career in STEM but are unsure of where to start or how to overcome potential obstacles?
I say like I said this before, but perseverance. I mean, you're going to face a lot of obstacles, especially being a woman in STEM. So make sure to come past that. Reach out to people if you need help, because there's a lot of people who are in the same situation as you. And there's also a lot of people who have like been through like the same obstacles as you. So reach out to them for help and guidance on like their experiences and be able to apply that. But like the biggest thing again is perseverance. You can get past those obstacles and you have just as much potential as anyone else out there in the world. So um, don't feel like you're not good enough in any way just because of those obstacles. Just persevere and you know you can get past it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. That's such wonderful advice. Thank you so much, Anika.
Thank you so much for interviewing me again. This is a really great opportunity.